Welcome to Coffee Talks with Dan Norton and David Person.
Dan?
David?
Dan, I'm not feeling very good. And I'm literally not feeling very well. But I didn't want to break our streak. Gosh knows how long that's going to last. And you might say, if you were a caring human being, which I really know you are, David, what's wrong? And I would say, well, why don't you first of all look at the screen in front of you? Do you see anything different in the screen in front of you than it might look on a normal podcast that we've done? Do you notice anything, Dan?
The lighting's a bit off. I don't know if that's just something. You've changed the boxes that are on Pikachu and Psyduck. You changed your shirt after 2 days.
Okay. Those are all great guesses. And starting with the lighting, especially because I put on a little bit more lighting, which I actually had on a couple of days ago and forgot to put on yesterday. But all it does is make me look older. So there's no reason to put on more lighting. But the one thing I'm not sure that you did notice, and you could have noticed, you should have noticed, maybe you didn't notice, who really cares if you noticed, is that I look a bit taller in the seat. Do you happen to notice at all that I look a bit taller in the seat, Dan?
Not really. Are you sitting on a cushion?
I'm sitting on several cushions, Dan. I'd like to tell you why. Because about 3 days ago, Dan, I started feeling an immense pain in my jaw and facial area. So much pain that I had to take Motrin, 800 milligrams of Motrin just to get to bed. And it was about the same last night. And I'm evaluating that and trying to figure out what the heck's going on and why all of a sudden am I feeling all this pain in my face and neck and everything else. And Dan, the reason is because I've been sitting down low and tilting my head. Watch this, to make sure that I'm looking into the camera. And after doing that for 12 or 13 days, my body said, you know what you should do, David? You might want to stop doing that. So I'm in excruciatingly terrible pain from being a stooge and trying to make sure my eyes look at this green dot all the time. Hello, green dot. You see me. And so I've decided to prop myself up and maybe get rid of the ailment that I've created of my trying to help Dan Norton launch a podcast. Do you feel bad at all for me, Dan?
No, not really. You're fine.
All right, great. Well, speaking of when Dan doesn't feel bad for me, let's just move right on to something that Dan likes to do with me every day called Tell David What I Got That He Doesn't Have. Okay, so this is a new game that Dan and I play. I was never invited to play. I just am told I'm playing every day. And so for the last 27 days in a row, Dan has said something like this to me every single time we first meet in the morning. Hey, David, there's news now that they're offering more World Spectator passes, so watch your emails. And of course, as all of you know, I can watch my emails until my eyes fall out of my head. I'm not going to be given a spectator pass to Worlds, all right? And I haven't been. So wouldn't you think, Dan, maybe it makes more sense to not tell me that there's something going on out there so I don't have to look for it like an excited 5-year-old child and just be ready for me not to get it? And if I get it, I'll call you excitedly and say, Dan, guess what happened? Why would you keep rubbing my nose in it, Dan?
Because you might miss the email. And if you get the email, you only have 48 hours to buy the pass. So I was letting you know that there was another wave of passes seem to be going out.
All right.
Yeah.
My good friend Dan, always with an answer, always with a justification, always with a rationale. Gosh knows, if you weren't the debate champion of the entirety of the UK, I don't know who was. Dan, did you do any debating as a child?
No, that's not a thing in the UK. We don't have debate club or anything like that. It
Okay.
might maybe somewhere like Oxford or Cambridge does. I also didn't go to university. Maybe some universities do, but even then, I don't think it's a big thing. It's definitely not a thing in like high schools or anything, other than potentially the super posh ones where all the politicians go.
Okay. Well, Dan, you didn't miss out because you've got your own opinions formulated from years of hard work and experience. And you know what? I guarantee you didn't have to have debate club to do as great a job debating as you do today. So Dan, your latest video, notice I focus on I guess it's not ours anymore. It's your video, Dan. You take the ups and the downs, responsibilities, the consequences. Your latest video was posted merely hours ago, if even an hour or two. And all I want to know, Dan, is from the posting of that video, this might be my way to get revenge. I hope not. Have you noticed, did you get a single new Patreon subscriber in the last hour or two since I went out begging for more Patreon subscribers?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Okay, let's look, Dan. I'm just, it's just fun to look. And then we'll keep looking day after day, week after week, month after month. And maybe we'll get one every once in a while. It should be doubtful. I wouldn't think you would get one this soon, but gosh, we can sure hope and pray.
No, my last one was 4 days ago, and it was someone joined as a free member, so it wasn't even someone who was paying for it. So, oh well, maybe next time.
Oh, well, maybe next time. You know, when you say a free member thing, Dan, I don't know if you know this, it just kicks something in my memory, and I think it's pretty funny. So, I don't think you watch much of the drama channels related to Pokemon,
Nope.
so many of which, right, you shouldn't, don't waste your time. So many of which deal with the fact that there's whatnot streamers who give, prizes away on screen, or they open things for people on screen, and then something sometimes every once in a while will wonderfully appear and on screen. Okay, Dan, what were we talking about? What was the subject that you brought up
When?
just
Just
now? What were we talking about just now as I
what?
started that diatribe?
Patreon that I had someone join as a free member.
Yes, free member, exactly. Thanks, Dan. Sometimes a guy my age just literally forgets in the middle of a story. So you're doing this streaming, okay? And there are
Mhm.
people that are allowed to enter the drawings on whatnot for free. And what the streamers hate more than anything in God's country is when someone wins a giveaway and is a free person entering the drawing. Even though by law you have to allow, just like for every sweepstakes, it's like, you don't have to participate to win. And
Right.
so there's actually lawsuits brewing and other things where somebody opened a God pack and somebody won it on a free drawing piece of it, and they actually destroyed all of the cards in the pack in front of them and said GTH to the person who was doing it because they just didn't want to deal with any of it, and they were so peeved, and now the people are mad because it should have been their giveaway, etc. So if you're joining Dan's Patreon for free, don't. It's not helping him. He appreciates all
Well,
the
I
love
will
and
say,
attention, but he needs a
people
few dollars every once in a while from someone.
the people who join for free can't see the posts or anything. It's just they're on there. I can set it where if I want, I can put some posts that are available to free members as well. But all of the posts and stuff I actually make on there are locked to paid members. So if you join for free, you're not actually seeing anything on my Patreon. So I mean, it makes the number go up, I guess. But you're not getting anything from it by joining my Patreon as a free member. But I don't mind if people do it. If people want to do it, that's on them. I don't care.
Can you take it off? Do you have the ability in Patreon to take off the ability for people to join as a free member? Yes or no?
I actually don't know. I haven't looked, but like I said, I
Okay,
have the
just a minute. Just a minute. Take it off. Just do me a favor. I need everybody that's listening to make sure you tell Dan I'm working more on supporting this effort with him in this endeavor. We're going to talk more about that in a minute or two. So Dan, please take it off. I don't want you to have anybody join for free because I don't want them to think there's another option. I want them to think I should join his Patreon and give him $1 a month or $2 or $4 or $5 because there's something more worthwhile than just joining for free.
Well, like
So
I
you don't
said,
have to do
it's
anything.
all
Take it
locked.
off.
Everything is locked to the paid members. So if they join as a free member,
You're
it
not
doesn't do
listening.
anything.
You're stubborn, and I don't want you to be stubborn. I want you to grow your business. It's an option. If you like, well, I can do this, so I don't need to pay. Let's let them think there's something behind the paywalls that's worth seeing. That in time will be worth seeing, even if we have to go there and create it at some point. Just my thoughts. I think you should listen to it. I think anybody commenting should tell Dan why I'm saying that he should take it off as free, just so that other people don't have an option they can actually join. Okay. And speaking of people that are watching, I'm just rolling right on through, Dan. Speaking of people that are watching, we had a video yesterday, a podcast yesterday, because Dan makes me do one every day. I love him to death. He's so demanding. And I said, "How did you decide on your hair being green?" And he said, "The hairstylist chose the color." And I said, "Gee, I wonder what other things in life you can decide on or have someone else decide for you that maybe are more dangerous like that." And of course, leave it to Craig to come back and say, "Hey, the first thing that comes to my mind as I'm watching and listening was getting a tattoo." So, Dan, have you decided if you're going to go to the tattoo artist and ask them what they'd like to tattoo on your body?
No, I've never done that. All of my tattoos I've decided on myself. I have another tattoo that's designed, which I haven't had done yet, because it's going to go on my upper arm, so I might wait until I finish with my allergy shots before I get that done, because I have them alternating in upper arms, so I might wait until that course of treatment's done and then get a tattoo.
Dan, this is such a perfect. I do not prepare for these podcasts, guys. I just have a few topics that I like to follow up on and stuff. Sometimes I have a general topic in mind. We'll get there at some point today. But this is my wonderful friend Dan Norton. I love him to death. Okay, the guy is a crack up to me. All right, because here's the deal. He told you folks that he's got ADHD issues and that adult ADHD presents differently. And that leads me to believe this whole concept of focus, right? And so, what I worry about with Dan and his collecting is that he gets involved in so many different facets of collecting that he never really gets anything completed. Now, he'll articulate and he'll assert that he gets everything completed in time. But I also worry about him not necessarily growing the channel to the extent that he should, because all of you know and can see what a valuable resource and amazing person he is, amazing wealth of knowledge, because he doesn't necessarily retain his focus. So while he's out there, doing a video on Squishmallows that he tells you only takes 4 minutes and doesn't take any time to do it, and he just enjoys doing it, I
That
worry
took
that
a
it's
while.
taking
That
away.
video did take a long time, the Squishmallows one.
Okay, I worry that it takes away some of his focus from where his potential real income could come from, which is this channel.
The
But
one,
Dan, I'd
the
like
one
to-
video a year I do on April Fool's Day.
Okay, well, I do.
Stupid
Okay,
card
fine.
game.
But I do want to say to you, you have an unfinished tattoo. Am I not correct? Just say yes or no, and then you can explain it. Yes or no.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, you're already looking to do the next tattoo on your arm when you have an unfinished tattoo on your leg. Okay, can you show it at all? Are you able to stand up, put your leg up? Can anybody see this thing? It's amazing. It's an amazing work of art.
I'll
that Dan
put some.
hasn't
I'll
really
put some
finished.
photos in. I don't think I can stand up and put it on camera, so I'll put some photos.
Okay,
in.
fine. So Dan, what is the deal? Is it just because it's going to be too costly to put it on your leg, because to finish the one on your leg because it involves more color than the one on your arm that maybe won't? What is the reason we wouldn't finish said tattoo before potentially considering an additional one?
I mean, the main reason I never got the one on my leg finished is because I was having it done by an artist in England and then moved over here. And then I was always planning to, find an artist over here who'd be willing to finish someone else's work, but I just never actually got round to that. So there are other issues to go along with that. I mean, also, yes, it would be a lot more expensive to have the full color leg sleeve finished than a small black and white one, which I think is what's going to be on my upper arm. I think it's going to be in black and white. But there are other reasons why I haven't had that tattoo done.
Dan, what is the small black and white tattoo you're considering? Is it either of the dogs or lore?
No, it's kind of the traditional pinup girl tattoos that sailors would get. I had one designed like that, but of Dr. Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror. So Tim Curry.
Oh, I know who it is. I was just wondering if you were going to have some toast next to it, like being thrown at the pinup girl thing.
No, it'll just be Frank.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no lack of interest in Dan Norton's mind. I don't know if that thing ever rests. Okay, so speaking of never resting and a woman that you love to death and who sits next to you at night in bed and snores, your wife, her name is Lore. She's recently changed it, and she should be able to do whatever she wants because we love her. Did you wake her up yesterday and she go to some kind of pre-release event?
No, she went to Pokémon League.
Okay, I don't know. So I get these things wrong. Thank you for just, Dan, you don't have to, you could say, David, it was something like that. But no, you just write down, it's like, no, David, you were wrong 100%. She didn't go there, Pokemon League. Dan, what does she do? Tell us about Pokemon League, what she does, where she goes, how many people are there. Give us just a big little background for those of us who may not attend a Pokemon League.
So Laura is a Pokemon professor, so helps organize the event and organize League. So League is just kind of your casual night. It's once a week. Most local stores will have a League, and League nights are basically when there's no scheduled tournament or anything like that. So as part of Leagues, if stores that run Leagues can run League Challenges, League Cups, which are tournaments that will give you championship points to qualify for Worlds. They can also run pre-release events, which are, getting the cards a few weeks early. But for the league that Locos do on Tuesdays there's a lot more kids at that one. I think they have a pretty decent turnout. It's a much more of a younger crowd than some of the other ones in the area. And the store that one is held at is super nice. The store brings in pizza and stuff for everyone. So the store found that on Tuesday nights, the issue was that parents were having to pick their kids up from school. Then if they brought them straight to Pokemon League, it was like, oh, well, we need to leave early because we need to get you home, give you dinner before you go to bed. So the store said, well, hey, we'll provide pizza for everyone so the kids can have their dinner at League, stay a bit later because then they just go home and go straight to bed. Because there's a lot of stores in Columbus now running Leagues. I think I might have talked about this on here before. I don't know if I did, though, because I know I've talked about it with Jordan on the other podcast, but
No.
Basically, Pokemon League is allowed to be run any night of the week, unlike with Magic, where it's Friday Night Magic is your casual event. It has to be run on a Friday. Pokemon League can be any night of the week. So basically, most of the stores in the area got together and was like, okay, well, let's figure out when the established leagues work. There's been a few leagues that have been around for a while. Like the other one that Law helps run is at Beyond the Board, where I used to work in Dublin, and that one has been on Saturday nights for the longest time. But stores realize they don't want to be fighting each other for people coming to leagues, since leagues are these just casual nights, and it's supposed to just be a bit of fun for everyone. It's not competitive tournaments usually or anything like that. So it's kind of worked out where, even though there's, over a dozen leagues around Columbus, I don't think there's ever more than 2 or 3 happening on the same night. And if they are, they're on full opposite sides of Columbus, so there'd be a 30, 40-minute drive between the two of them anyway. So that's why this store ended up with Tuesday nights as their league, because they didn't want to get in with clash with any of the others or any of the other stores that are near to them. So that's why they ended up doing a school night, and why they've brought in, the pizza and everything, which is helping the kids out. When they realized they had that much younger audience for League, that's when they started switching it around.
Are there card giveaways there at all, Dan?
So showing up to a league, you'll get a prize pack. We've talked about prize packs a lot. That's where they get given away, is at leagues or league challenges, league cups, that kind of thing. Most stores will do it where every league session you go to, you're going to get one prize pack. Some of the newer leagues that are just starting up will sometimes do it once per month or something, because initially they'll only get a very small shipment as they're getting their league going. The amount of prize packs you get to give away is based on your league attendance. So they start you off small, then if you prove you're getting a lot of people to your league, they then start sending you more so you can give out more. But yeah, generally most of the leagues in the area will give out a prize pack every night, every week when you go to league.
And we're at what, prize pack 6 now, Dan?
Yeah, we're on Series 6 right now.
And does anything that happens at a league ever count towards any points towards all of these other things that you could build up for regional or national championships, etc.?
Regular league sessions don't, and pre-releases don't, but stores that run, I think any store that gets leagues can run league challenges, which are a once-a-month tournament. You can run one of those per month, and I think winning it gives you 15 points towards Worlds. And leagues that are a bit more established, that have been going for a bit longer and have bigger attendance, can also run league cups, which are a once-a-quarter tournament, so once every 3 months. And winning one of those gives you 50 points towards Worlds.
Okay. All right. Good information. Dan, I like your hair more like the way it is now than when it's in the mohawk. Just a personal opinion. Okay. I really like it like that. And Dan,
can I just get some extra info for the cups and challenges? Because something cool
please
going on.
Do that, Dan. That's more important than talking about your hair.
Yeah. In Columbus, there's a really cool thing going on, because Pokemon has what's called a best finish limit when you're qualifying for Worlds, which is it's your best X amount of tournaments count towards Worlds. So for Intercontinentals or the International Championships, I think the best finish limit is 3, so you can get points at all of them. And then regionals, it's maybe 4 or 5, and it's just your best 4 or 5 finishers count. And then for cups and challenges, it used to be 6, and this year they dropped it to 4 for those as well. So if you win 4 challenges, like if you're a very good player, it's entirely possible you win your 4 challenges for the year in the first month if you just go to 4 different leagues and win 4. And then so for that point of view, there's no reason for you to ever keep playing for the rest of the year, because you can't actually bump your points up. If you got second at one of them, that's 12 points. So then you can keep playing, and if you win another one, it basically adds you those extra 3 points. Same with cups. You can only play up to 4 wins, basically. So what Columbus is doing this year as well, which is another really awesome thing we've been able to do because of a lot of stores working together to put things on, they've said, obviously you still get your championship points, it just doesn't count towards your Worlds qualification, but we've said over the course of the year, they're adding up all of the points you get from any of the Columbus stores for challenges and cups, even if you go over your best finish limit. And the top, I think it's 16 players from all of the stores combined are going to go through to a Columbus Invitational at the end of the year. And then they're going to run a last chance qualifier tournament to let another 8 people in. I believe it is, so it's 24 people total. And a lot of stores in the area have donated like a lot of prizes. Like stores have donated a lot of their leftover prize packs. There's been some play mats, some other stuff. So there's actually thousands of dollars worth of prizes being put into this, just because the reduction on the best finish limit really, really sucks for stores because of the fact that players can get all the points they need really early in the year, and stores are just going to watch their attendance drop and drop and drop. So this gives people a motivation to keep playing in these events, even if they hit their best finish limits. So we're doing that in Columbus. It's Law and our friends James, Austin, and Chloe, who've run Beyond the Board with Law for a long time. They were kind of the driving force behind it, and it's looking like it's going to be a really good event. It's the first year they're doing it, but obviously if it goes well, they'll keep doing it for future years.
Dan, you said one thing that didn't make any sense to me mathematically. So, we've got a lot of folks that are very intellectual engineering folks that watch us, and so, I need you to just clarify or explain or say, David, I was 100% wrong in saying that. That'll never happen, but it was fun. What you said was, if somebody wins these tournaments early and often, and that it's not great for stores because attendance will drop down dramatically. But I don't really understand that, because aren't we talking about typically one person, one really good person, or two really good people, or three really good people? Like, I can see it dropping down by a player or two that's winning early and often and accumulating all their necessary best of events points. But I really don't see it having that dramatic an effect unless everybody says, oh, I don't get to challenge the best person in all of Columbus, so I'm going to step out completely. I would think it would actually up attendance, if anything, because now the best player is not there and we have a chance to win. What did I miss in that, Dan? Why would it drop dramatically to any real effect on the stores?
It would drop because in a city like Columbus, we have, as I said, about 15 leagues. So in the very first month, there's 15 league challenges happening. So in just the first month, 3 people could fully get their hit their best finish limit. One other person could get 3 out of their 4, and that's if they don't do any traveling outside of Columbus. Because if some people are really wanting to grind, some will travel up to Cleveland, some will travel to Cincinnati. Even if it's not all the way up to Cleveland, there's other stores in between Columbus and Cleveland, which are within, an hour's drive if you're on the north end of Columbus. So it's potential that up to 4 or 5 people could hit their best finish limit on challenges every single month. And if these were people who were going to be playing in basically every event, you could be losing that amount of people every month.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Dan, you're wearing a Pizza Planet shirt. Is it an Ohio brand, or is it somewhere else around the world, or from a TV show or something?
It's from Toy Story. Well, it's from Pixar. Pizza Planet is the place where they go and they meet the aliens in the claw machine in the first Toy Story. But Pizza Planet, the Pizza Planet truck is hidden somewhere in every Pixar film.
Okay. So speaking of hidden somewhere in every Pixar film, wouldn't it be a great idea to hide something in every one of these videos that is a sponsorship thing that somebody's paid you to basically represent their brand? So let me give an example. Instead of wearing a Pizza Planet shirt, you go to the local pizza place that's sort of in the middle of all the leagues, and you actually, put their shirt on and you say, hey, would you guys be willing to sponsor me $5 a month for my Patreon or something? And I'd be glad to wear your shirt, at least once a week when I do these things. Now, I know you're going to say no and you can't and whatever, but these are the kinds of things I want you to think about, because I think they'll make a difference as your exposure grows. And before you comment on that, let me go further and say the following. And I'm going to do this in the public forum because I care about you and you're a wonderful person and I must ensure your success. So hopefully you won't tell me no, but if you do, you're going to have a reason, and that's fine. I would like to know if you took me up on the task I assigned you as of yesterday or the day before. Who even knows? The days go by and I can't even sleep anymore. Did you happen to start working on setting up an affiliate link for TCG Player as codes and Card Pro Dan suggested you might do?
All right, well, let's address the first thing first. The reason you can't hide a sponsorship in videos is because if you have any sort of sponsorship in videos, you legally have to make people aware of it from the off in YouTube. So you have to tick a thing on YouTube that says, I have been paid for some sort of sponsorship for this video, in which case when your video starts, a pop-up will appear saying, this video contains a paid promotion. You have to put like hashtag ad in the video title and in the description. So you can't hide something like that.
And I didn't really mean to hide it. I actually meant to show it prominently. But okay. Fine, that's good information.
Also, let's go to a pizza place and say, hey, will you sponsor this podcast? It's run by 2 people who are lactose intolerant and can't eat any of your product. It's $5 a month to wear your shirt.
Okay, wait a minute. Lactose intolerance does not stop me from eating pizza. Okay, pizza is my most favorite thing in life. I eat it maybe 8 or 9 days of the week. I've limited. I'm down to just 2 pieces when I eat it. When I used to eat an entire pizza, because at my age you can't digest, you just have to throw it. But it's not that's, and I don't even know why would tomato sauce and a crust. Let me just think about that for a minute. Tomato, because it's a cheese you're going for. I see what you're
Yeah,
going
the
for. Yeah,
cheese.
yeah. No, that isn't a sufficient level of lactose to bother me in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, it
Pizza
is
is
for me.
an
If I
exception to
have
my.
proper cheese on a pizza, there's one place in Columbus I know that does good vegan cheese on a pizza, and it's a pretty decent drive into Columbus. The other times we either go to Little Caesars and I ask them to make one without cheese, or I just have to take a handful of lactate pills. And
Okay, give
uh,
me give me the name of whatever the places are that you support. I'll call them. I'll get you sponsored, and we'll go from there.
all right.
Okay, do you want to talk about the affiliate links?
Yes, I know I haven't got it set up yet because I've been doing 2 videos a day, but after we record this, I'm posting my second video for today, which is the news video, and then after that, for the next few days, I only have this video. I only have the podcast to do each day, so I'll have a bit more time, and I'll be doing it tonight because I only have one video to edit instead of two.
Okay, I just because we're gonna do this. We're gonna have steps and tangible steps to really start to monetize this because you deserve it. It's nothing else. This is not a game,
Yeah.
and this is
And
not
if I
whatever.
get if I get the affiliate links, they'll all end up in the description and in my link tree and everything like that, and we'll mention it when if I get a TCG player affiliate link. But
Okay, and
you
we'll
can
get other
keep
ones too.
if you're hearing this at some point in the future, any affiliate links I have, I'll always make sure in my link tree, which I think is in the description of the video. So you can always check that out and see if I do have any affiliate links going. All right.
And Codes and Cards Pro was kind enough to make that suggestion, which was a wonderful
Yeah.
one. If you guys have other suggestions, and he was saying, "Hey, I'll shop there through you, Dan," which is really cool. Anybody else that has any other ideas? I know we can look at other creators, and I know there's a ton of other places, not just Pokemon related. But if there's anything else you guys have as ideas for Dan and some of this stuff, please feel free to bring it up because again, I want to reward him for his time and effort. And like that was great information. I had no idea about the leagues and the cups and the points and the challenges and so no intention of talking about that today, but sometimes that's how it all kind of goes together.
I mean,
Dan,
it used to be something that was a bigger thing for collectors knowing about these tournaments because they used to have, exclusive promos. Like the challengers used to have those, like first through fourth place promos. If you remember those from a lot of different sets, it was just a variant from a set, but there'd be first, second, third, and fourth. And then the cups used to have a card with League Cup on it, and that would have a staff version and stuff too. But since they introduced prize packs, they did away with all of that, and the idea is just they did away with basically with league promos as well, and now prize packs are just all encompassing. You just distribute them how you wish between your league, your challenge, and your cup.
does Laura get anything for working those events? Does she get a few prize packs for herself?
Maybe a prize pack too, but normally ends up with some regular packs, like from a main series set, because challenges and cups, the prize packs are something the Pokemon provides for free, so we get to put some of those in. But then there's an entry fee for the tournaments, which pays for the organizer, the judges, and then pays out prize packs.
You've mentioned there's all these rules around the stores and their distribution of prize packs, their selling of prize packs, their opening of prize packs, their opening of prize packs and selling the singles inside. There's all kinds of restrictions, rules, regulations. So
Yeah,
this is my curiosity question. You're dealing with a youthful league when kids aren't going to have necessarily the avenue to go to eBay and sell their cards. They're opening up a prize pack and there's some kind of $500 card in a Series 6 prize pack. I'm making something up.
yeah.
And let's say Lore knows that we're eventually going to need cards to build out a Series 6 prize pack set. Can she be aware of what kids are opening and look around and say, hey, you just opened a $300 or $400 card, I would give you this much money for it, or just let your parents know. Obviously not trying to rip off kids. We always
Right.
go to their parents. But if kids have no interest and can monetize that, is that an allowable thing once the gift is given and once the pack is opened, to say, hey, just want to let you know there's a marketplace for this. We build sets and we would, be willing to pay something like this for it.
Yeah, law is allowed to do that. Any league leaders or league workers are allowed to trade or buy cards from players. That's totally allowed. As long as the store allows buy. Some stores will allow you to trade, but some stores don't like you buying and selling at the leagues, which is up to the individual stores. But it's the actual stores themselves that can't. Well, I think technically they can buy the prize pack cards, they just can't sell them because they don't want the stores, keeping the prize packs for themselves. So the rule is, I think, it's 2 years after the cards come out in prize packs, they're allowed to sell the singles. Stores are never allowed to sell sealed prize packs, but they can sell the singles from prize packs 2 years after they've come out. So that means stores can now sell prize packs from Series 1 and I think Series 2. They're allowed to sell the individual cards from, but not 3 onwards yet. But a league leader who isn't working for the store can do that. Like a store employee could do that if they were buying it for their own personal collection. It's just that the store can't buy it and then put it in their display case to sell it.
Yeah, and what I can assure you of, Dan, which goes on all the time, is I can assure you there are folks that pose as a league venue or a league avenue. And some of those folks do not actually run leagues.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and so they get the product, they get the prize packs, and then they're able to basically kind of move them over to eBay or wherever else they do, which is why you get a secondary market for packs that really ought not to ever be on a secondary market. So,
yeah.
So we're both aware of that going on, which is unfortunate, and which is why when Dan gives you the lay of the land with respect to regulations and it being 2 years or whatever since from there not being allowed to do something or something else, sometimes there's so much chaos and craziness around that product being out there somewhere else, you can kind of skirt that, even though, again, Pokemon's trying to set the right intentions up when they formulate the rules. So,
right, yeah. And obviously the players can sell their prize packs individually as well. There's nothing wrong with that. A player doesn't have to open it. They can just choose to sell them. But it's when you look on eBay and it's day one the Series 6 was shipped out and one person's selling 250 packs.
exactly.
That's when you know it's someone who's faking a league and
Right.
putting dodgy numbers in.
Yeah. Okay. A rare point of agreement between me and Dan, which I appreciate very much.
There's quite a funny story I can link to that. It used to happen at a local store in the UK. It used to be a thing where Magic events had to have 8 players to be officially sanctioned. So a lot of stores, if they, had 7 players show up, they'd put an 8th person into their draft, like a dummy account, just to allow each player to get their couple of points for playing in the weekly event. And one local store got in a bit of trouble when their fictional player Max Power played in enough events to qualify him for nationals.
That's funny. That's really funny. A great story. Great story.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. I had a completely different topic for today, and I'm going to save it because it's not worthy of trying to just inch it in when we're already longer than we need to be. So,
yeah.
So again, the nice part about being able to see you guys each and every day until I can't, I'm sorry, I'm trying, is that we can follow up, we can continue on, and we don't have to have the pressure of feeling like it's all got to be contained. So our mini-sodes are no longer mini,
no,
but they're
no. I need to change.
You know what they are now? They're mini-sodes. We're doing Coffee Talk mini-sodes instead of mini-sodes because there's many of them.
Yeah. I'll change the title to like Coffee Talk Season 2 or something. We'll just count it as that.
Exactly. All right.
All right.
I'm done, Dan. I'm going to just say it's great to see everybody. We always appreciate your support and kindness. Anything you want us to talk about specifically, I'm getting a lot of my topics coming from some of the questions that are posed in the comments on the videos. So again, always appreciated the support and shout us out to last thing I didn't mention is to Dan. Put something in the comments. What Dan does is he puts stuff into Verbank. I know he posts on Verbank or whatever. And I know Verbank is a collector's place, but I also feel like Verbank is a lot of place where things are sold. So anybody that knows more about any particular Facebook posts, Facebook collectors groups that thinks maybe that's a great place for Dan to put those videos, throw a suggestion or two and those group names out, and maybe we can have Dan push him to do that as well.
Yeah, I've looked at a few other collectors groups, but a lot of them are very strict on allowing you to post your content. It really sucks.
Yeah, understood.
But
so again, I understand the restrictions. So
yeah, it makes sense with some of them because you just end up with people spamming everything that they do, and it wouldn't just be people who are making content; it would be people who are doing anything, and people would spam their whatnot streams and all that. It's the way it is. I will say I haven't been posting every one of our videos in Verbank because they'd be getting annoyed at me posting it every single day or twice a day. So
yeah,
but yeah, if there's any links or groups I should join, let me know.
Got it. Great. Thanks to everybody again.
Yeah, we'll see you guys there tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Coffee Talks with Dan Norton and David Person, with music by More Than Never and artwork by Lore Norton. A special thanks to all our Patreon members. Join us again next time.
But they don't want you to.